We're going to run through a couple examples of how you might use PEDAL to write instructor grading scripts on a bunch of student submissions. Exact details will vary depending on the environment you're integrating with, but we'll be using the command line here, assuming I've already pip installed PEDAL. First, let's make a grading script for a problem where a student has to print out "Hello World." We'll start off by importing the PEDAL library via its quick submodule, which gives access to our most commonly used tools. Then we'll call setupPedal, which initializes the environment and gives us access to a few useful pieces of data, including the student's abstract syntax tree, the data from when PEDAL runs their code, and this last return value is especially important. It's a function that we run when we've finished the rest of our script. This resolves all the feedback conditions and decides on the final feedback response. We can run this instructor control script from the command line and pass in a student file like this one I have right here that is meant to be correct. So I'm printing hello world. So if I do Python hello checker.py and pass in the file hello world/correct.py, you can see the output down here shows that the student would normally be, they are correct in this case. Now, this isn't all that interesting since we don't actually have any logic that verifies they do have the right answer. So let's go back to our instructor control script and verify that they did print something. So we'll say if the string hello world is not in the student output, then gently let the student know you have the wrong output. And we're also going to give a little label to this piece of feedback so that we can keep track of it later. And now if we try running this on a different file, like say the wrong output where the student has printed HELO WORL, one L and no D, then we will get a different message. Indeed, we get instructor feedback, wrong output, and that was the message we had before, you have the wrong output. Now, this is not very sophisticated. It doesn't allow the student any flexibility in terms of capitalization, white space, or symbols. And if you consider this other example over here, where the output is pretty close, but not exactly correct, since it has a lowercase h and an exclamation mark, well, this would be rejected by our strict output checker. If we go back and try running this current script on close output, then it says we still have the wrong output. We can go back and we're going to comment out this old version and instead have the line if not student.printed hello world. So now we're using a built-in feature from PEDAL's sandbox library, sandbox tool, that can be a bit more flexible. If we run this, now it says that we passed just fine. I made some changes to my instructor logic in this script, so I should really run my old submissions and make sure that they are still correct. Now, PEDAL can be run as a standalone script to verify that a directory of reference submissions is outputting the right values. So I've previously created a whole bunch of files with the expected output from running wrong output, close output, and correct. And if I run PEDAL as a command and pass in the verify parameter, the name of the instructor control script, and the directory of submissions, then it will run them all and verify that I have done the right thing. And this checks that they're all right using the built-in Python unit test module. So if I'd gotten any of them wrong, it would have given me some nice diffs if I failed any of those tests. But I passed them all so I can feel relatively confident that I haven't broken anything. You see here I have another example of a file with syntax error in it. So if we go check out that one, the student has omitted the quotation marks around the string. And if we check to see what it ends up printing out when we run it, you see that we actually get a fairly nice traceback in that it doesn't have any lines of instructor code. So they've all been stripped out before it was shown to the student. This also means students aren't going to accuse us of having anything wrong in our code. And the instructor code doesn't crash. It doesn't break just because the student's code had an error in it.